My name is Marcus Hayes, and I never thought family could hurt so deeply. It all began when my younger cousin, Trevor, confided in me late one night about a shocking secret. His sister, Alicia, was hiding a pregnancy, and the circumstances were far from innocent. The news should have been celebratory, but the tone of his confession set off alarms in my chest. There was tension, fear, and shame, all wrapped into one message. I couldn't ignore it. Something was very wrong, and I felt an instinctive pull to investigate before things escalated further. Before I explain, make sure to subscribe. Your support keeps this channel alive. Now, let me tell you how trust, love, and loyalty can be weaponized in the hands of someone you never suspect. Over the next few weeks, I observed the subtle fractures appearing in our family. Alicia, once vibrant and seemingly open, became secretive and evasive. She manipulated conversations, carefully controlling what others knew and planting small doubts in the minds of our parents. I had grown up protecting my family, solving disputes, covering mistakes, and taking responsibility for the consequences of others' actions. But this was different. This betrayal had layers, and it struck at the heart of trust we all took for granted. One afternoon, I overheard a conversation that would change everything. Alicia had been conspiring with her boyfriend to exploit the family's resources, attempting to manipulate inheritances and influence decisions under the guise of her difficult situation. My heart sank. Years of loyalty, mentorship, and protection I had given to keep the family united were being twisted to serve her selfish agenda. The anger surged, but I knew that acting recklessly would only play into her hands. I had to be strategic. I began documenting every lie, every secretive act, every manipulation. Conversations recorded in my memory, subtle gestures observed at family gatherings, and inconsistencies in her stories, all meticulously noted. My resolve strengthened with each passing day. The more I watched, the clearer it became that Alicia had underestimated me. She believed she controlled the narrative, but she hadn't accounted for someone who had spent a lifetime reading people, anticipating moves, and preparing for moments like this. The breaking point arrived during a family brunch. Alicia tried to pressure my uncle into making a decision that would benefit her at everyone else's expense. I calmly interjected, presenting evidence of the lies she had told, the manipulations she had orchestrated, and the consequences of her actions on each family member. Gasps filled the room. For the first time, the veil of charm and deceit she had worn so carefully began to crumble. Parents who had wavered between protecting her and fearing her influence now saw the truth. Cousins and siblings who had been quietly suspicious finally spoke up. Alicia was exposed, and there was nowhere left to hide. Her reaction was a mixture of disbelief and fury. But I remained calm. Years of patience, observation, and careful planning had culminated in this moment. The satisfaction of seeing justice served without a single reckless act filled me with a quiet, overwhelming relief. It wasn't about humiliation or revenge for its own sake. It was about restoring balance and ensuring that deceit could not go unpunished within a family I loved deeply. In the weeks that followed, the family recalibrated around honesty. Alicia was forced to acknowledge her actions and their impact, and while relationships would never fully return to what they once were, the foundation of truth had been restored. I finally felt the weight lift off my shoulders. The emotional burden of protecting those who had been blindsided, while simultaneously containing someone who sought to manipulate and divide. Looking back, I realized that betrayal within a family cuts deeper than any external threat. But intelligence, patience, and the courage to act when the time is right can restore justice in ways that immediate reaction never could. I had been deeply hurt, used, and underestimated. But in the end, the calculated exposure of truth brought a satisfaction that no momentary act of revenge could match. The family learned the hard way, and I had the quiet triumph of ensuring they faced reality, not illusion. It was poetic, deserved, and completely satisfying. A lesson in trust, betrayal, and the power of measured action